Strong drive to the hoop.
Eric, the turnaround shot, nothing but net. Wamar rings the bell with a three.
Chavez drills in a three.
That's the Mossa.
Over the defense. What a big shot for Eno Combo.
MPBL National Champions.
The road to a three-peat will not be easy. But the defending champs welcome the challenge. Their first test is a contender. Ready to take the next step. Which team will survive and advance?
From the Queen Province of the North, we travel hundreds of kilometers more in the beautiful province of Abra as we are down to our last 16 teams with one goal in mind, that is to be crowned as the MPBL Season 7 National Champions. We are live here from the Governor Andres Bernos Memorial Gym in Bangued, Abra, as we begin the North Division playoffs featuring Jeff Manday, who has been a force to be reckoned with the Caloocan Batang Kakalo. He will go up against a worthy adversary, the back-to-back champions, a proud Kapampangan in Archie Concepcion, as he looks to carry the fight for the Giant Lanterns in their quest for their third straight MPBL title. Number 4, Caloocan going up against number 5, two-time defending champs Pampanga Giant Lanterns, followed by the first defense of the Abra Solid North Weavers at home. Kalaban nila ang Ilagan Isabela 5-Star Cowboys. Welcome to the 2025 Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League Playoffs. My name is Ken Pangilinan alongside Coach Mike Perez. And Coach Mike, nice way to begin our playoffs. These two teams on paper very evenly matched. How do you see this matchup playing out?
Almost very similar styles of play para dito. The only difference will be where they take their shots because Pampanga really loves to get their points from inside the paint. Mantalang itong Caloocan has really developed more into a three-point shooting team with Coach Mike coming in at the helm for the Caloocan team.
And you're watching us live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and live din po tayo on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and live din po tayo ngayon on pusop.com. Let's welcome in our third member of our broadcast panel, Miss Andrea Endicio. And Andrea, really high stakes. Pampanga trying to defend their title. Caloocan trying to avenge their defeat from 2 seasons ago. How are they coming into this matchup?
Well, Ken and Coach Mike, alam naman natin kung gaano kalayo ang Abra. We experienced it firsthand at syempre hindi nakaligtas dyan ang ating mga players and coaches. Dito nga sa Caloocan, balita sa akin ni Coach Mike Sagigit, they arrived here early kaya they had the whole day yesterday para makapag-ensayo, para makapag-prepare. Hindi nga lang ensayo, nakapagkulitan pa at ang promotor dyan ang ating TikTok star na si Chris Bitoon. Para naman sa Pampanga, balita sa akin ni Coach Pedic Di Matulak, they arrived here yesterday quite late. Kaya inilaan na lang nila para sa pahinga. They only had this morning para makapag-ensayo. Pero naniniwala sila that they are very much ready para sa playoffs dahil nakapag-break-in daw sila during their short break. Well, yung mga kulitan, break-in, ano nga bang meaning ng mga yan? Yan ang laman ng aking mga reports maya-maya lamang. But for now, balik muna sa inyo.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. And these two teams, very veteran-laden, talented teams itong dalawang kupunan na ito. Pero balikan muna natin yung ating tournament format, Coach Mike. It's been a long tournament. We've been playing for almost 7 months already, but well, all roads lead here to the playoffs.
Well, I think that we've already completed that play-in with the 7th team and to the 10th team going into that play-in ngayon. Playoffs na talaga to, division semifinals, first round, the division semifinals happens to be a best of 3 samantala. When you get into the division finals and the nationals, that in turn will be a best of 5.
So ang kaibahan is the play-in tournament And also sa ating division finals, instead of a best of 3, we will have a best of 5 series. Now silipin natin ang ating playoff bracket, Coach Mike. Man, a lot of interesting matchups both in the North and South Division.
Well, evidently, lumabas rin kung ano yung tunay na ranking nitong mga teams na to after the play-ins. But pretty much yung mga 9 and 10 teams really got off. No? Sila yung mga natanggal. And so we're back to our top 8 teams with, in this instance, laban between the Supremo, itong Batang Caloocan at itong team natin, Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Is gonna be very interesting to see how they will actually perform in this very first playoff game.
And we see Caloocan and Pampanga probably on paper, sila in the North Division yung evenly matched in terms of talent, in terms of personnel. And that's why it's the first challenge for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns as they seek that third straight title going up against the Caloocan Batang Kankalu. Well, we talk about Caloocan, Coach Mike. This is their third consecutive playoff appearance in the MPBL. And both times that they made it past pandemic, Coach Mike, they reached all the way to the North Division semifinals.
Yeah, but the thing is, really the challenge for them is that every time they get into the North Division semifinals, palaging nasusweep sila. So ito kinakailangan talaga with Coach Mike Sagigit and the team being reformed, refurbished, and being better in certain things in the game. The hope is finally to break through this season.
And one guy that could provide that additional scoring punch for them, especially down the stretch, Jeff Manday, has proven time and time again that when his number is called, he can deliver at the most opportune time para dito sa Caloocan, Batang Kankalu.
Oh, definitely. He has elevated his game this season. As a matter of fact, was selected as a starter of the North All-Stars. Ang dami nilang gwardiya, pero he really stood tall para dito sa Batang Kankalu. And you see his numbers, 13.9 points per game. The shooting is very good at 40%. But I do love the rebounds, also the assists, because you all know once you're a scorer, really more concentrated on shooting. But for him to get numbers on rebounds and assists shows you that he does all the other stuff, including dishing to his teammates.
Very evident, Coach Mike, yung naging uptick niya in production the last 2 months for Jeff Manday as he's trying to take over here para sa Caloocan Batang Kankalu. But they will go up against a proud champion, a 2-time defending champion at bat, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And Coach Mike, the last 2 years, they were 18-0 in the playoffs.
Oh, agree. And ang mabigat dito, yung last 2 seasons nila, talagang they went straight and got into winning the title for our previous 2 seasons. And you always say it's difficult to repeat, and it's even more difficult to go for a three-peat. This is what the Giant Lanterns are challenged with right now.
And their very last loss in the playoffs was way back in 2022, going up against Nueva Ecija. And RG Concepcion was part of that team ever since Season 4. Nandyan na siya. And it was very interesting at the start of the year how he would fare with the departure of guys like Encho Serrano, Justin Baltasar. And although the efficiency has dipped, we all know that in the playoffs, he is such a big-time performer para dito sa Pampanga.
He has shouldered the bigger responsibility for Pampanga since Baltasar and Encho Serrano really left, carried the team for stretches during the season. And the big question now is that what version of Archie Concepcion are we getting? I do agree with you. Those numbers gotta be bigger and even better for Archie Concepcion if the Giant Lanterns will move ahead and go for that three-peat.
Last season though, although in the last playoffs, I should say, he was averaging 14.8 points. Now we compare these 2 teams, Coach Mike, both very lengthy, and also they've got a lot of wing players that are pretty much capable, but how do they match up here in the numbers displayed in our screens?
Well, I want to start off with Caloocan. Caloocan really has become a better defensive team this season, averaging being the 7th rank when it comes to that stat, 71 points per game ang allowed lang nila sa kanilang kalaban. Pero pag tinignan mo ang Pampanga, scoring mas maganda sila. Rebounds, mas advantage sila. Dahil a lot of their points have really come inside the paint. Why? Because of the big man, Islalata, J-Mo Eguiluz, and a lot of activities involving Larry Muyang with him at the paint.
All right, it's Coach Pedic de Matulak versus Coach Mike Sagingit. Pampanga versus Caloocan in our first North Division playoff matchup. Let's go to Richard Tampos for our starting lineups.
Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. The North Division quarterfinals begin with Caloocan and Pampanga. Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Here are the starters. Let's begin with the 4th-seeded Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. At guard number 24, Brian Enriquez. Small forward number 19, Prince Casin. To guard number 7, Jeremy Cabanag. Power forward number 1, Romel Calahat. And at center number 5, Batas, Ronnie Machas. They are led by Mike Sagigit, assisted by Stephen Mopera, Philip De La Cruz, and Mark Orias. Team manager, Mac Robert De Chandu. Team governor, Jeremy Tin. Team honors are Dennis Flores and Congressman Oka Malapitan. Now for the 5th rank, the reigning and back-to-back champions, Pampanga Giant Lanterns, AMG3 Construction. At guard number 30, Raymond Binuya. Forward number 29, the Elastic Man, John Nermal. Power forward number 9, Chris Lalata. Coming in at center number 1, Larry Muyang. Shooting guard number 2, the Royal Bazooka, Archie Concepcion. They are led by Pedic Di Matulak. Team manager and team owner is Aurelio A.J. Gonzalez III. Team consultants, Alan Trinidad and Mervin Mercado. Assistant team managers, Ronald Nulud and Raymond Guevara. Our game officials are crew chief, Edmar Abis. With
Our starting units. First for Caloocan, Brian Enriquez, Jeremy Cabanag, Ronnie Matias, Romel Calahat, and Prince Casin. For Pampanga, the backcourt of Raymond Binuya and Archie Concepcion. Up front, Larry Muyang, John Nermal, and Chris Lalata. Second time these two teams meet in the playoffs. Pampanga won over Caloocan 2 years ago. So Caloocan trying to exact revenge here against the two-time defending champions. Chris Lalata and Romel Calahat jump it up at center court. And the tip goes to the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Their first time this season playing here in Abra. John Nermal getting a start, facing a double team. And what do you think is going to be key here, Coach Mike, for both Pampanga and Caloocan in this series?
Well, I feel with Caloocan, really much as we talked about, nag-morph yung kanilang offensive system. Before, they're really more into points in the paint. But right now, with Coach Mike Sagigit, trying to change a little bit their schemes. They have turned more into three-point attempts. Matter of fact, almost 25 to 30% of their shots have really come from threes. Samantalang itong Pampanga, they rarely take threes. They only take roughly about 20% of their shots from there. And so you're trying to look for your big men if you're the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, but you're trying to activate shooters now if you're the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu team.
Pampanga is actually dead last in terms of three-point makes and attempts. And that's been their identity even during the Justin Baltasar days. But that's the operative word. Wala na silang Justin Baltasar, although they still have Larry Muyang. It's been an up and down season in their defense of their title. But, well, one thing that's working for them is in the playoffs, they are 22-5.
Well, clearly naman yung bigs, yan ang isa sa talagang pinanggagalingan rin ng karamihan ng production para dito sa Giant Lanterns. Even during the time when Balti Baltasar was there. And really just so much confidence when it comes to big men, itong Pampanga Giant Lanterns. As Jeremy Cabanag, I'm telling you, he's one guy from Caloocan that really has to get going for them.
Hasn't been the prettiest of seasons for Jeremy Cabanag. But in the playoffs, he is also someone that Caloocan can count upon.
Oh, definitely.
Concepcion for free. It will bounce out. Rebound Calahat. Nice outlet pass. Prince Casin in stride. Can't convert though. He will get the ball back. Both teams are also lethal in terms of getting the offensive rebounds. Nice cut inside. Calahat overshooting the target.
You gotta take that.
Open free from Enriquez. No good. And a rebound going to Archie Concepcion.
And I like that Enriquez never shied away from that opportunity. And you kind of feel there really is that green signal for them to take shots from outside. But the fast breaks, though, have been something that the Caloocan team has really shored up also this season.
4-2. First taste of the lead for the Batangang Caloo. Over 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Another steal, Caloocan. When you turn the ball over against them, they have been deadly. As Ronnie Matias scores for the Batangang Caloo.
And you love that your big man in Ronnie Matias is actually running full length of the floor with you. Wow, wild pass right there. They're trying to get that ball quickly over to Larry Muyang, but that was way off his range.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme X Pop Personal Karaoke Speaker. Everyday karaoke.
Well, even Cassin has been one of those guys that has really elevated their game, and much that we talked about itong si Ronnie Matias, who really has shown that he too can run the break along with the guards. Kalahat though, the guns are smoking for Caloocan.
Shooting above 40% from beyond the arc this season, Romel Kalahat.
Yeah, you see that three-pointer right there. Nobody just right in front of him and casually took that shot. Maybe you're trying to say we challenge the shooters from the outside, but if you do, they're gonna knock him down.
Early timeout for Pampanga. They're down by 7. Back with us here inside the Governor Andres B. Bernos Gymnasium in Bangued, Abra for the first playoff matchup of the 2025 MPBL playoffs. You see the field goal shooting. Caloocan 50%. Pampanga has yet to buy a field goal here. A 9-0 run by the Batangang Caloo with plays like these, playing the passing lanes. Pampanga out of sorts early. Prince Cassin lines it up. Too strong. Rebound, Jeromer Cabanag. The pass to Kalahat. Draws closer. Doesn't get the friendly bounce. And finally, rebound cleared by Lalata, but he will be whistled with an offensive foul.
Well, as Lalata was trying to clear that rebound, somehow that elbow got on the face of Prince Cassin. And this is playoffs basketball right now, and everyone's got to be a man for himself. At that time, medyo paangat yung bola nito ni Chris Lalata, trying to avoid it from getting, touch or deflected from his hands.
Prince Cassin still on the deck. Obviously, there's pressure for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns for a three-peat.
Yes.
No more Encho Serrano, Justin Baltasar, MJ Garcia. And looks like it's an unsportsmanlike foul after the review on Chris Lalata.
That definitely, that elbow getting on that chin of Cassin, he will get that unsportsmanlike foul. But you have to be more efficient now if you're going to execute offensively para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns, because so far, passing lanes, one pass away, they've done well defending itong Caloocan.
And with Caloocan, we've seen in their wins against Pangasinan, Binyan, and Batangas City under Coach Mike Sagigit, every time they wreak havoc on the defensive end, they produce a lot of points off turnovers. Lalo sa Batangas, that was so glaring because Batangas was such a strong defensive team, but Caloocan turned the tables on them. And with Coach Mike, he has unlocked something that we haven't seen before from the Caloocan Batangang Caloo.
Well, when you defend, there's a lot of energy that's expected and a lot of commitment from the players, which I feel right now is what we're seeing here in Caloocan. And so in those games that they actually played a lot of defense, you see that level of connectedness between them that allows them to make the game a little bit more joyful to play, especially when you get those stops and hit the offensive end.
Still no field goals for the Giant Lanterns. John Nermal sizing up Jeramer Cabanag. John Nermal will force it up. No good. One and done that time by Pampanga.
And what you don't like with that ball on the post, nobody was actually moving on the weak side of the floor. You gotta involve guys with weak side action so that you have that defense rotating constantly. Because if everybody's gonna be standing around when that ball's on the post, then it's easier for the defense to try and locate everyone.
Jeramer Cabanag giving up that foul. Meanwhile, let's check in with Miss Andrea Indicio.
The Pampanga Giant Lanterns had some heavy break-in during their pretty short break. Kwento nga sa akin ni Coach Pedic, they had a tune-up game against Converge na muntik na raw nilang maipanalo. They only lost by 1 point, but nonetheless, Coach Pedic sees this as a good sign. The players are well-rested and very much in sync now. Kung maaalala natin, nung huling nagtapat ang dalawang team na ito, wala pa sa kanila si John Nermal at Allen Mina. So we can assume that there will be different dynamics daw this time. It's tough for the Giant Lanterns to be at number 5 this season, but nonetheless, sabi nga ni Coach, remind yourselves who you are. You are back-to-back champions. Ken and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. And well, Pampanga, they won't have the opportunity to play at home. At least, depende sa mangyayari in the first round. But at least here, Caloocan will have home court advantage in game number 2. But the thing with Pampanga is you can never underestimate them, especially how proud they are as a team, as a province.
Oh yeah.
Isa ito sa mga hotbeds in Philippine basketball as we see Larry Muyang finally score the first field goal for the Giant Lanterns.
And I like that you put it that way, Ken, because definitely itong Pampanga, clearly a hotbed when it comes to basketball. And when you're in that region, you have to be playing with a lot of pride, especially coming off this season where you are the back-to-back champs. But Calahad, though, continues to be active.
Even though he's undersized, he's able to find a way against Larry Muyang.
Si Calahad, isa yan sa mga undersized na big men na, alam mo yun, may lakas para makipaglaban sa loob at may bilis na kayang tumapat sa mga gwardya pagka fast break na.
You could see the game plan here for Caloocan. They're trying to push the pace every time there's a rebound or a turnover. But plays like that from Archie Concepcion could just give some new life dito sa Pampanga who's down by just 6-13-7.
One might say na itong Caloocan, somehow they're in what's called a pitch ahead, and every time you secure that defensive ball, you got to push it ahead and find the teammates that's running wide, and you've got your big man running the middle of the lane, see where the best options are and go on from there.
Raymond Binuya, pinasa palabas kay Concepcion. Nermal thought about it, puts it on the deck, lost it. Another turnover against Pampanga. Enriquez finds Jeff Banday for free. No good. Calahad gives them another possession.
Grabe ang pace nitong laban na to. And even the way that the guys are moving in the half court. I mean, you talk about Pampanga and Caloocan. Even the half-court sets ang bibilis no? A lot of movement. And how many times have we seen in this game that Ronnie Matias is actually running the break para dito sa Caloocan?
This is gonna be a fun matchup at the point guard position. John Fa and Joey Barcuma coming in at the same time alongside John Lloyd Clemente and Mix Pangilinan.
We're putting in a little bit more shooting right now. As you definitely are challenged to make shots. You're shooting only 28% from the field, and you got to be better than that.
Maging si Paul Sanga, pinasok na rin dito.
Imagine how deep that bench of Caloocan is. You're getting Paul Sanga off the bench, one of the primary three-point scorers para dito sa Caloocan, who at any point in time can actually hit his shots alongside Jeff Banday.
Jemo Igilos, binigay kay JLC, pupukol sa 3. Wala pa din. Bola nakuha ni Joey Barcuma.
Ibang klase yung sipag ni Romel Calahad. Every time on the boards. Nice fake.
Sanga fires. Still no goal from downtown. Real Cervantes gives it up to Jeff Manday. Barkuma, balik kay Manday. At the left corner, guarded by JLC. Skips it. Seemingly intended to Paul Sanga, but they turn the ball over once again.
How many times have we seen that ball getting, past cross court and really making that defense rotate a lot para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns. That time around, you have the best shooter on the weak side of the floor. They try to do a ball reversal pero hindi lang maganda yung pasa ng angle na yun para kay Jeff Manday. And so the ball now will turn over para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Sloppy start for both teams. Combined 12 turnovers. 7 from Pampanga, 5 from Caloocan.
That's what happens when you play with a lot of pace. And at certain points, we've seen a game in the play-ins na ganun na nangyari. Guys gotta settle down and be more controlled.
Nice rejection there from Real Cervantes. Cervantes pulling up. Money on that mid-range jumper.
Ganda ng thinking ni Real Cervantes John. He rejected that high-low with Bonsubre being fronted against Jamo Egalus. Instead, went to that side ball screen, and once he saw that switch, took it.
Still nothing from the outside for Pampanga. And to compound their woes, a foul whistle against the Giant Lanterns.
Well, this was that little inverted two-man action with, instead of Barkuma getting that screen, it's him providing it. And eventually, Real Cervantes knocking down that jumper with Jamo Egalus late on that contest.
8 ang lamang ng Caloocan dito. 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Cervantes trying to carve out space against Mix Pangilinan. Left it short. Bonsubre with offensive board. Manday free for a free. It's good!
And somehow, feed action, being fleet-footed right now itong Caloocan. You see a lot of activity, offense and defense. And they're really trying to get to those spots, very important para sa kanila in this game.
Mina forcing it up. He was able to draw a foul.
I thought Alan Mina had that right side of the floor to try and claim. How about this activity right here by Caloocan?
Three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
One of the basic concepts of offensive rebounds. You get it, you try and look outside, spray it out to your three-point shooters. And with Jeff Manday holding that wing three, why not?
Larry Muyang on the bench. Alan Mina, it's been a rough transition for him. He was one of the go-to guys for Ilagan Isabela, and then churned out nice performances in his first 2 games, but since then nag-struggle na siya para sa Pampanga. As June Bonsubre cleans up that Real Cervantes miss.
Wow, and even the offensive rebounding clearly being won here by itong Caloocan. That's 7 versus 1 on offensive boards, and you clearly understand when you're being active, once that shot is taken by your teammate, you get rewarded with offensive rebounds. See that miss right there? Good action by June. And then that stick back the other end.
8 turnovers already against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. They're down by 12. Paul Sanga tries to add it up, but that time a miss. Cervantes and Mix Pangilinan. Someone was whistled for an unsportsmanlike foul.
Oh, we didn't see that because we were already looking the other way, habang binababa yung bola. See that again right there. They got on that little post-up action. Oh, face up Caloocan. Ayun, oh yeah. That is unsportsmanlike without a doubt.
So, easy call on Real Cervantes, unsportsmanlike foul.
That's a beeper back in the day.
Beeper?
Easy call.
Hindi kami makaka-relate ni Andrea dyan.
Okay. Okay, fine. Baka si Tix makaka-relate pa. At saka si Direk Freddy.
How about Pampanga though? They have missed a ton of shots, whether it's from the field or from the line. And their woes continue. 4 out of 8 from the free throw line.
Kasi karamihan ng mga tira nila, it's either minamadali or one-on-one. No? They try to create for themselves. They're very rarely, if none, yung weak side action kung saan nandun yung nagiging point of attack. Just like this one right here. This is all solo action by Alan Mina. You gotta involve the weak side and so the other guys on that side of the floor keep getting busy.
So far, parang wala pang flow sa
Wala.
laro nitong Pampanga.
Wala, definitely.
Cervantes mothered. Pinilit pa din, but unsuccessful. Jamoy Gilos with a rebound.
You see with the Barkuma right there. You think you have speed in Janfa? That's negated with the Barkuma taking on him.
That defense of Caloocan making life miserable for Pampanga at the moment. A second differential between shot and game clock.
There you
Catch and
go.
shoot free for Alan Mina.
man.
Not even close.
But that was the very first time we've seen a little fan away action off ball para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns. He did have that look. Pero similar to their other shots earlier, medyo may madali factor eh. No?
Barkuma just past the half-court line. And Caloocan making a statement here in quarter number 1. The number 4 seed going up against the two-time defending champions. And that defense has been key to their resounding beginning here for Caloocan, Coach Mike.
Oh, well, you get limited to just 8 points. 8 points in the first quarter. And you know that's not good if you're the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. You got to get more field goal productions para sa inyong team. And at the same time, you got to control that offensive rebound. It's enough challenge already to make shots, but to be out-hustled on the board, it's even a bigger problem para sa Pampanga.
20-8, Caloocan with a 12-point lead over Pampanga. Our featured player matchup here between Caloocan and Pampanga, Jeff Manday and Archie Concepcion.
Well, clearly, I was stating earlier that Jeff Manday pretty much helps out on the rebounds. Pero yung rebounds na yan, malaking bagay para dito kay Jeff Manday. Pero ini-expect mo na yan rin aangat para dito kay Archie Concepcion. Very similar in terms to scoring. Really, maybe more perimeter makes for Archie than 3-point shots. But man, Jeff Manday, clutch games, you know he's gonna be in there and producing for Caloocan. And so you have to be mindful in times like that where Jeff Manday is.
You see the disparity in field goal attempts and makes, Coach Mike.
Agree. And tell me that's not defense. That is definitely gotta be defense alongside the 7 offensive rebounds that they got para dito sa Caloocan. In fact, it's already 9 at the end of the first quarter. That's 9 offensive rebounds versus that only a couple only para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And off those offensive rebounds that they got, 7 points ang nakuha doon nitong Caloocan. So, kailangan kunin mo yun at depensahan yung mga offensive rebounds na yan.
Already 10 turnovers after Larry Buyang committed a traveling violation for Pampanga. Paul Sanga, Real Cervantes, June Bonsubre, Jeff Panday, and Chris Bitoon making his first appearance here in quarter number 2. Tried to thread the needle in issuing that pass. That was kicked by a Giant Lantern, so shot clock reset to 14 seconds.
Real Cervantes getting his much needed rest, but incoming itong si Romel Calahat. And Calahat has been a monster off the board. He's got 3 of those 9 offensive rebounds para dito sa Caloocan, really staying active once the shot is taken by his teammates.
Bitoon kicks it out to Calahat. Extra feed to Paul Sanga. Open free. Mintes. At may tulak sa ilalim laban kay Renz Alcoriza.
And again, nauunahan talaga sa pwestuhan. How many times na hindi one and done ang opensiba para dito sa Caloocan. Dahil talagang they're not boxing out. And you gotta close your defense. Speaking of the Giant Lanterns, with the defensive rebound. Because otherwise, hirap.
They're trying to sort it out kung sino talaga yung foul against Pampanga.
Correction, the foul was on number 15.
Oh, by the way, mabanggit ko lang. Tagal ng biyahe, from Ilagan, Isabela to
yeah.
Abra. 12 to 15 hours.
Well, only because may mga roadblocks na na-encounter along the way.
Yeah. But the trip certainly worth it.
Oh yeah. Especially heading here in Abra. And all these fans coming in later in this big Abra playoff run. Ganda yan.
Jack Panday, dire-diretso. Natapikan ni Renz Palma. Gives it up to Renz Alcoriza. Almost lost it. Paundo to Larry Muyang. Series of pump fakes. Still can't convert.
The defense has gotten into the minds of the Giant Lanterns. Larry Muya. Series of pump fakes before making that attempt.
Kalahat, pupukol sa tres. Mintes. Rebound nakuha ni Larry Muyang. Andre Armenion. Can't shake off Jeff Banday. Gives it up to Renz Palma. Palma gets to the gut of the defense and lays it up and in high off the glass.
They're gonna need the energy and the production of Renz Palma here for the Giant Lanterns. He might just be that guy that could provide it for the Giant Lanterns.
Played in the playoffs last season with Negros. Just lost out against Quezon in that first round matchup. Romel Calahat, another three-point attempt, another miss.
A quick run, somebody's gotta run wide.
Armenion, nice kick-out pass to Renz Alcoriza, who can't hit a three. The defensive board controlled by Romel Calahat.
Nakita mo yung activity ni Romel Calahat doon? Kabantayan niya sa rebound si Larry Muyang. Hindi lumundag, binax out muna. At hinayaang makakuha kung sino may-ari ng 50-50 ball na yon, which happens to be Caloocan.
3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Chris Piton drills in that three-point shot.
Been quite a while since the last time we've seen Chris Piton play para dito sa Batang Kangkalu, and clearly inaantay rin siya ng kanyang mga kampen, lalo na in these playoffs.
Also has proven to be a clutch performer in the playoffs. Chris Piton. Armenion still with Pampanga. It's been quite a struggle from the field, from the line, from everything.
Hindi mo alam kung first game playoff jitters or talagang gigil lang no?
But they force a turnover. Numbers here in transition.
Gotta take that.
Alcoriza, wala pa din. Palma drives, still no go. And a pushing foul against Pampanga. Muyang called for the personal. Three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
So that side of the floor clearly was overloaded, but still, Chris Piton found a way to knock down that three.
We have another timeout with 6 minutes remaining. Caloocan with a 13-point lead. Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. Just a quick shout out to Achi Inigo, watching with his lovely wife and kanyang anak, na si Aki. Miss na daw niya maglaro sa playoffs.
Oo naman. Yan pa si Achi pa. Lalo na nakapasok sila Axel sa playoffs, no? Itong Mindoro, getting past that play-in.
Romel Calahat to Prince Casin, guarded by Renz Palma. Caloocan just dominating this matchup so far in game number 1. Chris Piton stopping on a dime. Corner pocket jumper, no good. But Larry Muyang fails to secure the defensive rebound. Another possession for the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu.
One thing that we've observed so far from the Giant Lanterns, wala masyadong box out, no? Pagka nakatira na itong Caloocan. Kaya nagkakaroon ng chance na sumungkit ng rebound itong Caloocan from the back. And that's why the advantage in offensive rebounds.
Shot clock winding down on Caloocan. 2 seconds remaining. Prince Casin still was able to draw a foul under duress. And he'll earn himself 2 free throws.
Res Palma right there in the face of Prince Casin, trying to make him very uncomfortable, but too close for comfort. He got called for that foul. And somehow, ang ganda ng nilalaro talaga nito ni Prince Casin.
LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. His best performance arguably was the one against Batangas on the road, where he was just all over the place, racking up steals, getting in transition, knocking down threes.
Well, I think he was excellent also in that game in Pangasinan, if I recall that correctly. Well, that game was the best player of the game was actually Real Cervantes, but Jeff Manday and even Prince Casin, boy, they did really well in that game.
Nice looking jumper from Archie Concepcion.
They're gonna need more of that from Archie. What I like about that shot, you know, relax, comfortable, understands the situation before he took it.
We're now past the halfway point of the second period. Chris Bitoon doesn't get the friendly bounce on that three. Another offensive rebound for Caloocan. Bitoon puts it on the deck. Can't shake off Larry Muyang. 4 seconds left on their shot clock. Chris Bitoon mintis pa din.
That's his second missed three after making one the other side of the floor. There you go. That's the pass that you need to give up.
Muyang sa loob, wala. Rebounds have been dominated by Caloocan so far, and that's certainly impressive considering how Pampanga is one of the best rebounding teams in the league.
Oo. At saka yung last play na yun, you have to trust Larry Muyang. Completely sealed na yung defender niya. Parang 3 beses natin nakita yan kanina sa first quarter, pero ito yung unang pagkakataon na na-rewardan siya.
Hard foul given up by GP Faundo. As that was a beautifully set up pass by Joey Barcuma.
Ito ang ganda ng read niyan. Brought that couple of defenders over since nobody was coming in closer and had that right angle. Na-basket yun ni Archie. Pero ito, yung pagkakabigay ng seal na yun, maganda rin ang pagkaka-recover nitong Rai Muyang going glass for that shot make.
10 ang lamang ng Caloocan, 24-14. Referees were reviewing that last foul given up by GP Faundo.
Upon review, it was an unsportsmanlike foul. Number 21, GP Faundo.
There you go. An
For
unsportsmanlike
excessive
foul
hard contact.
against GP Faundo.
No question about that. There was that level of excessiveness on that contact with GP. You know, coaches always tell you, once you have that wing attack downhill or even a corner drive, you have to have a big man going on the front of the rim. Which is clearly yun yung ginawa ni Romel Calahat. Kaya na-draw yung pangalawang defender, easy pass yun papunta kay Romel Calahat. But the thing about Romel Calahat though, Ken, walang nakaka-locate sa kanya kung nasaan siya sa offensive end, even on the defensive side. Kaya kailangan mo box out talaga to. You have to put him behind you so that hindi maging advantage yung kanyang activity para sa Caloocan.
8 points, 8 rebounds already for Romel Calahat. 5 of them on the offensive glass. As a result, they're up by 11. Jeraber Cabanag, nicely done there. 2-man game between him and Ronnie Matias.
Nararamdaman mo yung level of comfort nito ni Jeramer Cabanag pagdating sa mga tight situations na gano'n. Nakastay yung depensa pero pagkatanggap niya nung pasa na yun of that cut, talagang tinig na niya kaagad.
Look at this lineup for Pampanga right now as Chris Lalata knocks in that long jumper. No natural point guard in this unit for Coach Medic Di Matulang.
Which I guess is very important for them to stop giving up offensive rebounds, secure the defensive rebound, because if they do, they got a good chance to run the other way. Enough scorers and, you know, runners the other end.
Matias.
There you go. That's the
supply.
push.
Alcoriza tatakbo, natapik ni Joey Barcuma. While for Caloocan, they're staying with this 2-point guard lineup in Chris Bitoon and Joey Barcuma. Kabanag missing on a free.
Somebody's got to run wide.
And you just see the deflections, the way they intercept the passing lanes, Coach Mike. Talking about Caloocan.
Ito yung sinasabi natin na na pasa pabalik papunta dito kay Jeremy Cabanag. He understood na iwan na yung defender. How about Chris Lalata though, straight up from top of the key. They are gonna need more of those snipings from Chris. And so that the paint gets freed up for the other bigs like Jay Moegelos and Larry Muya.
CJ Delfino comes in. He will be matched up against Joey Barcuma.
Ang sikip. It's hindi madaling ganun makapasok sa loob yung bola. You see how compacted that paint is with all those white shirts trying to patrol that ball swing to the other end or that entry pass inside the paint. It almost feels like anim yung player ng Caloocan sa loob no? Ganun kabigat yung depensa.
Concepcion sa bandang itaas. Si Cabanag ang kanyang bantay. Archie spins. Kicks it out to John Lloyd Clemente for 3. It will bounce out. Rebound, Real Cervantes.
And what did Real Cervantes do before he got that rebound? Boxed him out.
Pampanga is 0 out of 7 from downtown. Certainly not their strongest suit. That 3-point shot. Cervantes creating space off the heel on that jumper. Something they haven't established yet has been the inside game of Larry Muyang. This is one thing that they could do. Have him run in stride,
Correct.
cut to the basket, and score 2 points.
Correct, exactly. And that's something is they really have not yet exploited. I mean, if this were a post game and you have weak guys moving on the weak side guys moving on the other end, and the ball is on the post in Larry Muyang, imagine the pressure on the defense to try and cover that other end.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And that only happened because Larry Muyang was the trail guy and he pretty much is the least defended for the most part down the floor.
Cervantes, the veteran, nakakabingwit ng foul laban kay Larry Muyang.
Clearly, binigay ni Larry Muyang yung middle door. Kaya dun pumunta itong si Real Cervantes. And these couple of guys have seen each other on the post and alam na nila kung anong galawan. Kaya nung pagkapunta sa gitna ng attempt na yun ni Real Cervantes, sinubukang i-shot block nito ni Larry Muyang. Yun nga lang, tumama kaya tinawagan ng foul.
Larry Muyang already has 2 fouls. Real Cervantes has carved out a rotation. Has carved a role in the rotation rather for Caloocan as he hits the back end of his free throws. Balik sa 10 ang lamang. Pampanga using their timeout. They're down by 10, 28-18.
Nagbabalik ang MPBL. Recovery is a must para sa team. Biro nga ni Coach Mike sa gigit, alam mo naman itong mga player ko, Andrea, mga mas matanda pa sa akin. And so they were here early, had enough time to rest, recover, and even had a little bit of kulitan. 1 taon pa lang si Chris Bitoon with Batang Kangkalu, but he feels very much at home. Pag may free time, matik, may TikTok entry yan. Sabi ni Chris, maraming TikToker dito sa amin, no? Pero dun sa latest entry nila, pinilit pa raw nila si Joko Tayong-tong dyan. Pero kung mapapanood nyo, parang hindi naman. Bottom line here is Caloocan is working more as a family than just a team. Komportable sa isa't isa on and off the court. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrea. The chemistry is off the charts for this team, and it has worked wonders for them as they try to make a deep playoff run this season.
Pero alam mo kung pinilit lang nila si Joko Tayong-tong, feeling ko merong isa akong kasama na hindi na magpapapilit, talaga magiging participant yun pagdating sa TikTok.
Sino?
Si Habi.
Game naman lagi yun.
Oo, game naman palagi yun. Pagdating sa TikTok no. But tama naman yung report ni Andrea na yun. Ang ganda actually ng environment na binigay dito para sa Caloocan. Si Joko right there. Pahinga pero nag-TikTok.
Yeah. And, well, we see this play here. Larry Muyang forcing his way in, able to draw a foul. Pero i-challenge, mukhang all ball at the first glance.
Yeah, that look all ball. Actually, ito si Jeff, maganda rin ang depensa nito ni Jeff Manlangit.
JJ Manlangit coming up with a block. Let's see if Coach Mike Sagingit is right in issuing a challenge. We'll be back for the result of this one.
Upon review, the challenge was successful. There was no foul.
Successful challenge as expected dahil bolang-bola yung pagkakasupal doon ni JJ Manlangit kay Larry Muyang.
Wala masyadong tinatawag na man-u ball dun sa pagkakataon na yun. Talagang really the ball was in between JJ and Larry Muyang. So that was an easy rejection para dito kay Manlangit.
12 seconds left on the shot clock of the Giant Lanterns. Clemente, the one-hander, no.
That's a push.
Just the second foul though against Caloocan.
I don't know if it's just me, Ken. I don't know if you feel the same way. Somehow, pag tumitira ang Pampanga Giant Lanterns, you somehow get that feeling na out of sync, no? Parang minamadali, di ba? I think the only good shots that we saw na medyo smooth would be, I guess, yung kay Chris Lalata on the top three, and then the other one by Archie Concepcion.
Concepcion. Even that shot by Concepcion, it was well contested.
Correct. There you go.
Ito yung gusto mo naman, no, if you're Pampanga. You try to be patient. You find the right opening to attack. And now they were able to set up Larry Muyang inside.
At saka they're still in a good spot. I like to think Pampanga is still in a good spot. And the reason that I say that is because Caloocan also is not shooting that ball very well. They're shooting only 28%. And so you really just got to be able to control the rebounds, force more turnovers, and get points off of it.
Two-time champion coach, Pedic Di Matulak, as an assistant to Governor Delta Pineda.
Yeah. When you saw the numbers of Larry Muyang, he leads the team in points, rebounds, as well as block shots per game, and shoots roughly about 55% from the field. But in this game, that clearly is not the case para dito kay Larry Muyang. Things are difficult for him in this match.
And despite all their struggles, Pampanga is just down by 9. Although they're just able to put up 9 points, a low-scoring affair here in the first half.
Another missed box out by the Giant Lanterns, causing them offensive rebounds.
Mark Puma drills in a free over CJ Delfino.
That is the very first field goal make of an offensive rebound for Caloocan. Earlier, they had 7 points at the first quarter. Yung second chance opportunities nila kanina really came from the free throws. But ito yung unang-una na field goal para sa kanila.
Clemente nakuha yung offensive rebound. Pinasa palabas kay Archie Concepcion. Mintis yung kanyang tres. Muyang susubok sa ilalim. He will run out of time. A defensive masterclass by the Caloocan Batang Kankalu in the first 2 quarters. And Coach Pedic Di Matulak needs to solve a lot of problems on their side. The two-time defending champions here in game number 1, down by 12 at the half, 31-19.
That's a good,
Clear the runway, Mr. Gomez de Leano. Once again, this time with more power on a one-hand slam.
Correct. I love the power though. I say we get one more from Joe.
I say we get 2 more.
Oh, that's right.
Slamming it home with one hand.
A lot of authority on that finish by Joe.
Josh Tagala had to adjust his shot.
He's got time.
CJ Delfino. Oh, he backs it in! How about that for the Tasmanian Devil, CJ Delfino?
And when you're given an opportunity to try and run down the clock, you definitely gotta do that. And CJ Delfino didn't waste any time. He knew that he had that space and a good look for that made basket.
Just beyond the half-court line and able to kiss it off the glass and in para kay CJ Delfino.
Yeah, by Serrano. 5 seconds on the shot clock. David. 3 short rebound. Uduba. Balik kay Mendoza. Encho Serrano. Nakabuelo si Encho. Oh, he gets that one to drop. Plus the foul.
This is what separates the average players to the really good ones. Shots like this one. Encho Serrano gets fouled there, loses his balance, the concentration, the English, the kiss off the glass, a big shot nonetheless.
Comes away with the loose ball. Marquez is running. Marquez, what a finish from Dexter Marquez.
Are you kidding me? The English. I don't know if it's English 101, 102, 104. Certainly.
Advanced English.
Yeah. Nakita mo kung paano umisprint. Biglang lumitaw na lang sa picture. Etong si Marquez.
Ito ang Zamboanga in the Quezon.
Mosqueda, nice pass! Oh my goodness! Tumingin pa si Chino sa akin. Pero kasi naman, parang wala na nangyayari sa ofensiba na yon. And then,
In a few minutes.
This is just a 2-possession game.
Bangkale draws
Oh
contact.
my goodness.
Plus the foul. Basket and 1 para kay Diego Bangkale. He's playing the game of his life in this one.
And if there are any doubters to what Diego Bangkale can actually provide the Mindoro Tamaraws, may those guys put that doubt into rest, as Diego Bangkale has really elevated his game here in the second half.
Short Bangkale pushing. He gets by multiple white shirts behind the back to Pabgam Gamalinda. What a play by Diego Bangkale.
Oh my God, that Diego Bangkale show continues in the fourth quarter. Oh wow!
Ilang nakaputi ang nadaanan niya doon, coach. And then that spectacular pass. My goodness, he fools everybody with that pass.
same. 1 to 5, 6 to 10. Even that third unit could deal in some damage as Ives Sasson! And then a slam dunk to follow it up by William Big.
Oh my goodness! See this drive right here. Lalim ng pagkakakuha ni Ives Sasson, pero look at the leaps and the hops. Oh my!
Grabe.
That leap was huge. It's almost assured a highlight. The guy's too athletic.
Serrano wants to dance with Panganiban. That's a tough shot! Encho Serrano! Happy birthday! This has got to be one of the legendary performances here in the MPBL on your birthday.
We talked about David Defonso having the skills to pay the bills. Enzo Serrano, the talent to pay the rent.
And to me, that speaks highly of the kind of coach that Coach Pao Havelona has been. Oh,
With William Bing with a whirling dervish.
oh my goodness. Where did that even come from, Rin William Bing?
Like a tornado flashing down the middle. Oh boy.
Hindi kadalian, pero na kompleto. Ni Rin William Bing.
So far, Caloocan just having their way against Pampanga in the first 2 quarters. They lead by a dozen, 31-19. Coach Mike, Pampanga, the big story in that first quarter, they already had 9 turnovers, and that really set the tone for Caloocan, playing the passing lanes, and they were able to establish their biggest lead at 14 points, and Pampanga was just out of sync for almost the entirety of the first 2 quarters.
Oo, tsaka kita mo yung air relations nung offensive rebound versus the second chance points. That's 13 offensive rebounds to which they got 11 second chance points, and that clearly to me sends a signal that nobody is locating, boxing out, lalo na on the defensive end of the floor. You've gotten shots pero hindi ganun kadalian yung mga makes ninyo, kaya 22% field goal shooting, napakababa niyan at wala ka pang tulong masyado nakukuha galing sa bench with only Renz Palma scoring a couple of points. Everyone else has not scored off the bench, and that includes Jemo Egulus, Clemente, Fa, Alcoriza, Delfino. These guys have not scored so far off the bench para dito sa Giant Lanterns.
Romel Calahat with 8 points to go along with his 8 rebounds to lead the way for Caloocan. For Pampanga, scattered yung kanilang production dito. Larry Muyang and Archie Concepcion, their 2 leading scorers with 7 and 5 respectively. Jan Nermal with 3 points. And also a story here for Pampanga, Coach Mike, has been their acquisitions during the free agency and trade window have below expectations, no?
Correct. Actually, when you look at the numbers, there are only 2 guys that's averaging double-digit scoring para dito sa Giant Lanterns. And I say even barely. Jan Nermal, 11 points per game. Larry Muyang at 14. You'd like to think you'll produce more because these are your best big man and your best perimeter guy in scoring. But the thing is, hindi makakuha ng magandang flow. Pag nagkakaroon ng mga game na ganito, the big question now for the Giant Lanterns is who is going to be their go-to guys if those 2 are not available. And to me, that's got to be Archie Concepcion.
Concepcion with the basketball, gives it up to Jan Nermal. Nermal makes his move.
There you
nice
go.
Up and under. Kissinek off the glass and in for the first basket of Pampanga in the third.
One might say that's the second best read so far offensively for the Giant Lanterns. The other one, that early feed of that post-up seal by Larry Muyang. That time, Jan Nermal going to his feet work.
Prince Casin gives it up to Ronnie Matias. Give and go with Prince Casin, and he gets pushed by Jan Nermal.
How many times have we seen that? We saw that earlier between Real Cervantes and Jeremy Cabanag. Now, we've seen it again on the other end involving Casin.
Gixer, great move of the game, born for greatness.
And that, to me, that's just a scorer right there in Jan Nermal. You get 2 on the ball, you go to your feet work, and the shot fake, able to get both up in the air, and so you shoot that gap and make it.
Ma'am Jaja Bernos in attendance here.
Very early.
Yes.
Well, obviously, ang Abra kasi this is a big basketball province as well here up north.
Lamang ulit ng 12 puntos ang Caloocan laban sa Pampanga.
There you go.
Larry Muyang sa poste. Faced by a double team. Nermal, shot fake. Bounce pass to Larry Muyang inside. No go on that shot.
Pero ako gusto ko yung movement na yun para sa Giant Lanterns. You get the ball on the low block with Larry Muyang to try stay out of the way. And once he puts the ball on the floor and he tries to create and he gives up, nothing happens. Shooter's got to show, which happens to be Jan Nermal.
Raymond Binuya, Jemo Igilos, Archie Concepcion, Jan Nermal, and Larry Muyang, the unit for Coach Pedic Di Matulak to start the third. Nermal, catch and shoot free. Tatalbog palabas. Raymond Binuya, unable to save the basketball. It will go to Caloocan.
But again, I like that Jan Nermal is actually taking shot attempts because he pretty much is here for scoring primarily para dito sa Giant Lanterns.
12-point lead for Caloocan. They have Brian Enriquez, JJ Manlangit, Prince Casin, Ronnie Matias, and Jeff Manday. Archie to Jemo Igilos. That's with Raymond Binuya.
There you go. That's the shot. There you
Archie
go.
Concepcion knocks down the first three-pointer for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Two things I like about it. One, when he caught the ball, he was looking at the rim. Second, he took the shot. Yun ang napaka-importante para sa scorer na katulad ni Archie Concepcion. You gotta find the rim.
Enriquez Mintes. Jeff Manday, patay! Second free for Jeff Manday.
And that's the same thing all over again with Jeff Manday. And very similar to how Archie Concepcion actually made that three. He caught it, looked at the rim, took the shot. And those are really, you know, some of the genes of prime scorers. That's what they do. They get the ball, they look at the rim, they take the shot.
Jeff Manday just hitting at the right time. You see Archie Concepcion drive. And someone from Caloocan tagged with a foul.
And somebody's really got to take over the scoring side para dito sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns. You may be shooting just 25% for the game as a team, pero you like that you're only down 12.
This free throw of the game is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Again, we would like to thank, of course, Kong JB Bernos, Kong Ching Bernos, also Ma'am Jaja Bernos, and also Yusek Denise Bernos Bragas, who was shown on the screen earlier. Maraming salamat po sa inyong mainit na pagtanggap dito sa Abra. Where we're here for the third time this season as Romel Calahat able to score.
At saka yung init na yan, ramdam mo talaga yung hilig sa larong basketball ng mga taga-Abra. Kaya naman tuwing nandito tayo, laging puno itong atang venue.
Pasa palabas kay John Nermal.
Looks good.
And it is good. A three-pointer finally for John Nermal. Second free of the quarter for Pampanga.
So far, you know, really good start here in the third.
Prince Casin can't answer the free. Pampanga gaining some rhythm here, Coach Mike.
Gotta get some rhythm. Tama yun. My challenge really for the Giant Lanterns is now you've got John Nermal and Archie Concepcion running the lanes for you. Having them run wide really opens up that middle lane for rim runners like Larry Muyang and maybe even Jay Moegulus.
Two free throws for Raymond Binuya.
What they were saying was that the foul was on the floor. That it wasn't on that attempt.
Binuya misses the front end of his free throws. The longest tenured Pampanga Giant Lantern, Raymond Binuya.
Well, he's second when it comes to assists at 3.6 per game.
LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Mintis parehong free throw ni Raymond Binuya. Jeff Panday, natapik palabas ni Raymond Binuya.
Ayun, maganda namang philosophy yon at anticipation para dito kay Binuya. Understands there's going to be a swing pass to the corner and he just went into the passing lane to try and steal it and get that deflection.
Manday turns the corner. Nice hesitation move from Jeff Manday who scores.
First he got Archie going under. Then he goes to a Ricky or what's called a re-screen to try and attack downhill. Doon na tumama yung screen kay Archie Concepcion. Kaya late na yung naging recovery ni Archie on that drive by Jeff Manday. You get a shooter with that ball movement. Ito yun, he went under, then he went back. Doon na tumama yung screen. Yun, little hesi bago tinapos ni Jeff Manday.
Nag-freeze up doon si Larry Muyang.
Correct. Because he was thinking that it was a shot again. Like I said, ito yung kailangan lang kay Archie Concepcion. You have to look at the rim and make that feeling that you are gonna make those shots.
We've talked about how Archie Concepcion comes up big in playoff situations. Average 14.8 points in their last playoff run. Prince Casin with a nice-looking fadeaway jumper to answer right back for Caloocan.
And he has to live up to the expectation. I guess him and Raymond Binuya are the two key holdovers from the previous season. Oh, that's a travel. I thought that was a travel.
Bola nakuha ni Ronnie Matias. This is Romel Calahat. The pass to Prince Kasin, who drills in at 3.
And clearly, Coach Mike Sagigit has given that go signal for guys. If you catch the ball and you're undefended, look at the rim and take it.
Lead back up to 13. Just when you thought Pampanga was finding their stride, Caloocan answers right back. Concepcion, no foul. Bitoon comes away with the rebound. Pinasa muna kay Ronnie Matias. Now it's with Prince Kasin. He fires another 3. This time it won't go in. Binuya attacks the defense. Tight pass leads to another turnover against Pampanga. Jeff Banday will kick it out to Romel Calahat. Calahat barrels through the lane and won't convert. John Nermal sizing up Ronnie Matias. The veteran smarts of Matias giving up that foul.
Oh, alam niya, hindi siya aabot eh. Downhill foot speed. Tapos may change in direction, change in pace pa itong si John Nermal. Definitely you have to give up that foul.
May balita muna tayo at courtside with Miss Andrea Indicio.
That first half performance of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns was indeed very unlikable on the side of the coaches. Inside the dugout, they received a call from their former coach, Vice Governor Delta Pineda, na very much concerned, especially when it comes to their rebound. So they knocked in some sense. Ang dami daw kasing hesitations, ang daming unsure movements. Sa kabila naman, para sa Caloocan, ang worry ni Coach Mike Sagigit, baka hindi masustain ang energy sa second half. Kaya ang paalala niya, maganda ang tinatakbo natin, but don't get confused. These guys are capable of bouncing back anytime. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Coach Mike Sagigit, under his watch, Caloocan is 14-4. Remember, he took over for the Caloocan Batang Kankalu where they were 7-4, and his first game was against Pampanga.
Yeah.
So he certainly knows the capability of Pampanga of coming back from huge deficits. Pero like Andrea mentioned in her report, as Cristalata scores, very evident, no, yung tentativeness, the way they've been uncomfortable in their sets, and that's something they're trying to rectify here in the second half.
And I think both coaches raised really valid points. One, yung hesitation para dito sa Giant Lanterns pa na-mention ni Coach Pedic. Samantalang dito naman kay Coach Mike, masusustain ba yung ganitong klase ng energy? And both are very legit. Because right now, you look at this game, this is still just a 10-point game. To which, in my opinion, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns are very capable of coming back, especially when you still have on the floor Larry Muyang and even J-Mo Egalus, and Archie's lighting up it up as well with those two booming threes here in the third.
Remember, last season, again, you see here, Yusek Denise Bernos Bragas. Again, last season, we talked about how the number 5 seeds from both divisions advance to the division semifinals. Caloocan, coincidentally, was able to upset Manila, who was led by Greg Slaughter that time. And then in the South Division, Paranaque, who was the 5th seed,
Yes.
was able to upset Zamboanga. And Coach Mike was the coach of that Paranaque Patriots team that pulled off that improbable series win against JC Marcelino and the rest of the Zamboanga team. As you see, J-Mo Eguilo score inside, babaksa siya manglamang ng Pampanga.
I've always thought of Coach Mike Sagigit being a player's coach. That's why yung mga players na nahawakan niya, talaga namang yung attached sa kanya. I guess when I talked to him early this season, when he first got this assignment to handle Caloocan, sabi niya, excited ako sa mga pyesa bagay sa triple post to mga to, coach. Pero ang ko is mga veterano, iba maglaro ito. Si Renz Palma with a good finish right there.
This is
Finally another energy guy in Pampanga.
This is the closest Pampanga has been since trailing by as many as 14 points. Lead down to 7.
Good peel off.
2 minutes remaining here in the third period. Bonsubre gives it up to Joey Barcuma. 6 seconds on their shot clock. Barcuma runs into traffic. Cervantes got blocked from behind by Chris Lalata. Cabanag, Renz Palma making quite an impact here in the third. It leads to a fast break opportunity for the two-time defending champions.
Playing with a lot of intentional pace. The Giant Lanterns have started this on the defensive side of the floor, getting that transition in the play, and Fa finishing it off for JLC.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners, ang Extreme Magpalamig free installation for split-type air conditioners.
Oh, energy talaga ang binibigay nito ni Renz Palma, and basket dyan, steal kanina, bigay ang bola kay Fa, takbuhan na.
This was the very first game of Coach Mike Sagigit. Almost 5 months ago already, Coach Mike, where Caloocan beat Pampanga. It was in Orion, Bataan. 90-87 was the final score.
And I like that we featured the field goal performance, including the free throw shooting of Caloocan in the game, because, man, kakapasok lang ni Coach Mike Sagigit nun, pero ang ganda kagad ng shooting ng Caloocan that game. I guess the only message of Coach Mike in that very first game is that laruin nyo lang yung laro nyo, pag libre kayo, tumira kayo. Paid off dividendly for Coach Mike Sagigit.
Lead down to 5 points. Last second dish to Joey Barcuma. Can't convert on that 3-point shot. John Fa. Dire-derecho. Putting some speed on. John Fa scores.
Well, Joey Barcuma there got beat by John Fa. It's always difficult to be guarding the guy with the ball who plays with a lot of pace. And now John Fa trying to get one, that is going to be a foul. He did the right thing earlier. Inside hand to the outside shoulder, hindi nakuha. Pero ito, getting to that tip, mapatawagan ka talaga ng foul. Ganda ng pagkaka-finish na ni John Fa.
Just that slight opening enough for him to get to the basket, as Pampanga has outscored Caloocan by 9 here in the third period.
Best scoring quarter so far nitong Pampanga Giant Lanterns, and they're doing it with a lot of pace.
Renz Palma, nice assist to JLC. Lead is down to 1.
And when Coach Mike Sagigit asked earlier, masusustain ba? Yun na yung ni-report ni Andrea kanina. Kaya ba yung sustain? The big question now is, can they?
Bonsubre. Finding someone to pass to. A steal. John Fa. Chance to take the lead for Pampanga. Ball will stay with the Giant Lanterns. They can opt to take the final shot here in the third period.
What I didn't like about that was Chris Lalata was not looking for a shot. He was looking for a pass. Despite that being a downhill action, I thought he could have gone to his feet work and then, a little up fake before make that shot attempt.
Baseline inbound for the two-time defending champions. Clemente. Binigay muna kay John Fa. Si Barcuma ang kanyang bantay. John Fa using that pick. Kicks it out. Palma for the lead. It will not go in. And the third quarter comes to a close. What a response of that halftime break for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. After being down by 12 at halftime, we see the resurgence here. The highlights of the game brought to you by Zip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevator Hydration.
Their best quarter so far for the Giant Lanterns. Starting everything on the defensive end, making more good decisions. Archie Concepcion was looking for the rim, taking those shots. John Normal got involved. The bigs are defending inside, but still Kalahat able to score in there. But this 26-point output has really done well para dito sa Giant Lanterns, enough for them to make this a relatively closer game.
46-45, Caloocan leads by 1 over Pampanga heading into the fourth. Our player matchup, Jeff Banday and Archie Concepcion. Archie struggled in the first half but has come alive in the third period, while Jeff Banday doing his damage in the first half.
Well, more importantly for Archie Concepcion, he's shooting 4 out of 8 from the field, and you like that in the development of Archie Concepcion, especially in that third quarter. He was not hesitant. He was very intentional. He was looking to score, lalo na a catch-and-shoot situation.
8 of his 13 points coming here in the third period for Archie Concepcion as we begin festivities here in the fourth. Muli po Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez at courtside. Miss Andrea Indicio, kita mo no, how both teams struggled in the first 2 quarters, particularly Pampanga, only 19 points in the 2 quarters combined but exploded for 26 in that last frame.
Agree. And yung second quarter ngayon, I feel really about shot making kasi hindi naman nagkakalayo rin yung shot attempts nila in the first half. Well, really all because of yung pagmamadali sa pagtingin sa rim.
The 20-year-old John Fa in his first playoff appearance.
Oh, he's just gonna get better. Ito si John Fa. You see, the pace is with him. Maybe a little bit on the deceleration. That's what he's got to work on. Even the footwork inside the paint. If he incorporates that in his skill set and in his bag, things are gonna look even better for the young John Fa.
Now he comes off that screen. John Fa rejected by Ronnie Matias.
Right there, even yung shot selection, the scoop shot was not really the best shot that's available for him. Understanding na mga bigs yung nandoon, and you go up against Matias, hindi ka liligtas sa batas niya.
Allen Mina, second rejection in that possession by Ronnie Matias. It's a jump ball. But I think referee Jay Castroverde will overrule ito si Mark Rancudo. So it will go to Pampanga.
Ito yun yung momentarily hesitation and trying to dump it inside for Real Cervantes. Pero sipag rin yung Alan Mina na talagang tinakbo niya yun at hinabol yung possession na yun.
Chris Talata, Renz Alcoriza, John Fa, GP Faundo, and Allen Mina, the unit for Pampanga here in the fourth. Crossover move from John Fa. Throws the ball away. Real Cervantes ahead. Sidestep beauty from Real Cervantes. Basket plus the foul.
How many big men do you see actually have a decelerate and a footwork in transition? Well, very few. One of them, this guy right here, Real Cervantes. Going the other way after the decelerate amidst that defense. Big man yan, huh?
6 points, 4 rebounds for the veteran. Former FEU Tamarao. Completes the 3-point play. Lead back up to 4 points, 49-45.
Arguably one of the better perimeter guy of a big here that we have this season.
Alcoriza. Using that GP Faundo pick. Gets to the cup. Count it, plus a foul. Renz Alcoriza with a 3-point opportunity of his own.
And that time, really beating him to a spot. Renz Alcoriza deciding to go baseline after that middle ball action. He got that switch. He understood he had foot speed to his side. And kontra-tempong release bago maka-shot attempt na block itong si Real Cervantes.
However, missing the bonus. Ronnie Matias comes away with a defensive rebound. He is joined by Jeff Manday, Real Cervantes, Joey Barcuma, and Jeramer Cabanag. Manday. The pop by Cervantes. Back to Manday for free. Off the heel. Rebound Chris Lalata. Chance to tie or take the lead for Pampanga. Alcoriza. Mintis nga lang. Ball will stay with Pampanga.
One of the reasons also I observed kaya hirap rin maka-dribble penetrate, especially in transition sa Giant Lanterns. Yung big men are sealing. Pag nawala yung seal, hindi nag-relocate kagad kaya may tao pa rin sa paint.
Outside jumper from GP Faundo. We are tied at 49 apiece.
The sniping has definitely improved for the Giant Lanterns. Started really by Archie Concepcion in the third quarter.
2 minutes gone by in the fourth period. Manday, tightly guarded by Allen Mina. Allen Mina will be called for that foul.
Pero katulad nga ng pinag-uusapan natin kanina, Ken, Caloocan was not actually shooting the ball very well kanina in the first half. See this drive right here. Jeff Manday slips. That was a foul though.
Prince Casin and Chris Bitoon pinasok na sa loob ni Coach Mike Sagigit. Cabanag runs into traffic and was able to earn himself 2 free throws.
And clearly you observe yung point of attack for the most part nitong Caloocan has been that two side of the ball. When you have a better gap, you have what's called a double gap that creates more space for the 2 players involved in that action.
Nagbabalik si RJ Concepcion at si Larry Muyang. Para sa Pampanga, papalitan muna si Allen Mina at si Chris Lalata.
At dahil pinasok mo na si Archie Concepcion, makakatulong yan sa depensa.
Itong free throw na ito, atid sa ating Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Lalo na, nandiyan si Chris Butoon. You have to have a guy on the ball versus Chris. And when you peel off and you rotate, helps that you have Archie Concepcion as well in there.
A far cry from his averages last season for Jeremer Cabanag, where he was the top scorer for Caloocan, but a much different role this year under Coach Mike Sagigit. Raymond Binuya comes in. Papalitan niya muna si John Fa. 51-49. Pampanga, another chance to tie or even take the lead in this possession. Concepcion gives it up to Larry Muyang. Hand off to Renz Alcoriza. Binabantay ni Prince Casin. Larry Muyang binigay kay Raymond Binuya. Back to Muyang inside, off the glass. Wala pa din. Bola napunta sa Caloocan. In transition, Prince Casin goes up strong, but the layup does not work. Binuya comes away with it. Almost a steal. But Chris Bitoon caught the arm of Binuya. He will be whistled with a foul. Intensity has certainly picked up here in the fourth period. It's just game number 1 of this series between the number 4 seed Caloocan and the 2-time defending champions, seeded 5, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Binuya, hinatid. Papunta kay Renz Alcoriza, mintes yung kanyang 3. Na kay Larry Muyang, yung bola with offensive rebound continues to miss at the rim. It's been a struggle for Larry Muyang. Just 7 points, but does have 13 rebounds. Caloocan comes away with a stop. They gain possession back here. Si Kalahat na magbababa ng bola dito against Larry Muyang. Kalahat makes his move. Goes up strong, but Muyang standing his ground, forcing the miss. Binuya throws it away. Another turnover against Pampanga. That's their 15th. Although they've just had 4 turnovers here in the second half.
And ang mas concerning dyan is out of that 15 turnovers, 14 ang ibinigay mong puntos para dito sa Caloocan. And really, hindi niya hayaang makadrive sa gitna. Yun ang nagiging challenge para dito sa Giant Landers. Now they get the open floor. 3-on-3.
Nice job by Cabanag though.
There you go.
Keeping it step with Chan Nermal. Concepcion turns down that shot.
Yeah, I thought he had that shot. He had that shot.
And he lost the basketball.
You have to remember, previous to that, he was 2 out of 2 from 3. Now he was practically the trailer guy, last guy coming in. Could have taken it.
16 turnovers already against Pampanga. Mayroon ding 11 against the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu, who is trying to protect this 2-point lead. Bitoon has struggled, only 3 points. Dumps it down low to Romel Kalahat, who fails to convert, but he grabs another rebound. Kalahat spins, puts it up, and puts it in.
Grabe ang activity nito ni Romel Calahat. Handoffs, offensive rebounds, hustle. He's done everything. That's why he's getting rewarded with those points.
And he now has a double-double, 12 points and 10 rebounds. Prince Kasin will pull it back out. They will reset their offense.
Sound decision by Caloocan. Looking for that early attack. Kung wala, pull it back.
Past the halfway point of the fourth. Cabanag drifting right, gives it up to Calahat, who pulls up and he puts it in from that mid-range area. Romel Calahat with 14 points and 10 rebounds.
And once again, just like in the first quarter, Romel Calahat continues to save the day para dito sa Caloocan. Hustle plays and baskets.
Fan of the Game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. We are live from the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium in Banguet, Abra. As we see Romel Calahat increasing his production this season, 9.4 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 47.2% from the field. But tonight, a different story, Coach Mike. He has upped the ante here para dito sa Caloocan.
I like to think this is really the regular numbers for Romel Calahat, especially here in the playoffs. Yung 9.4 points na yun, I think medyo understated yun in terms of how he's actually valued on the floor. And ang ganda rin ng field goal percentage niya. He understands when to take his shots and pick his spots.
Game 1 of the best of 3 series here in the first round of the playoffs in the north between Caloocan and Pampanga. Batangkang Kalu abante ng 6 laban sa Giant Lanterns, 55-49. Another turnover against Pampanga.
Oo nga, pero ang sayang dun kasi naka-backdoor na no? Naiwan na yung depensa, but John Normal deciding to take it the other end of that rim, but before that, he already got caught for that travel.
That was coming off a timeout.
Agree.
Calahat runs into traffic. Nakuha ni J-Moy Gilos. John Fa at the controls. John Fa straight to the cup. The 20-year-old wonder making some noise here in the fourth.
Oh my goodness, John Fa making things happen for the Giant Lanterns. He's provided that needed energy for them.
Romel Calahat, pinagpaglang yung depensa doon ni J-Moy Gilos. 16 points for the former Golden Stag.
I like it when John Fa brings that ball down the middle. Shot on its way, it's good.
That's something that Archie needs to do more of. 16 points for the Mexico Pampanga native, Archie Concepcion.
I don't think we need to explain anymore kung bakit hindi natin nagustuhan, hindi niya tinira kanina, no?
Matias, binigay kay Prince Kasin. Pulling up, no good. And Larry Muyang, what was thought to be a done deal in terms of that rebound, lost that basketball, and Romel Calahat able to capitalize.
At saka sayang doon, may momentum na no? Na napipick up nagsasagutan na sila ng Caloocan.
13 steals for Caloocan. They were number 2 in that department during the elimination phase. One of the more underrated defensive teams we have in the league, itong Caloocan Batangkang Kalu. As they have a 5-point lead. Under 3 minutes left in the fourth. Bitoon against John Fa. Chris steps back. Kasin, the pass outside to Jeff Manday. Masyado malakas yung kanyang tres. John Fa in transition makes his move. Oh my goodness! Eluding the defense of Chris Bitoon and had to adjust to that shot but making it to cut this lead down to 3.
Pero ang gusto mo doon, ang ganda ng control niya, no? Pag-decelerate at pag-finish towards that contact. And that drive by John Fa.
Scoring all 6 of his points here in the second half. Bitoon overcooks the free. Last 2 minutes of the game. John Fa got blocked from behind by Prince Kasin.
Well, that time he thought he beat everyone downhill, pero tinimingan lang ni Prince Kasin yun. Ito yung drive down the middle, pero nasa likod, inabangan ni Prince Kasin yung layup attempt na yun ni John Fa.
Did not even make an attempt and played only 4 minutes in the first half. John Fa, but has come alive here in the fourth. Nermal to tie it up. It will rattle out and rebound controlled by Ronnie Matias. A minute and 40 left in regulation. Jeff Panday against John Nermal. Prince Kasin straight away free. Banks it in!
Wow!
That hurts if you're Pampanga.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta hurt. I mean, that came off that middle action with a little pull-up from upstairs by Prince Kasin. Wow.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Timeout Pampanga, Caloocan with a 6-point lead. Back inside the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium in Bangued, Abra, as we bring you game number 1 of the North Division first round series between number 4 Caloocan and number 5 Pampanga. Later on, we'll see Abra defend their turf against the Ilagan Isabela 5-star Cowboys. Jeff Panday and the rest of the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu look to strike first. Prince Kasin, 13 points. And that last shot from downtown was a backbreaker, making this a 2-possession ball game, 62-56.
But right now, Caloocan going a little small ball action here with only, as Ronnie Matias being the 5 and the 3 and 4 being Kasin and Romel Calahat.
Go to Jamoy Gilos down low. Oh boy, Ronnie Matias able to stand his ground, comes away with a steal.
That wasn't the advantage that they were looking for. You had Larry Muyang being covered by Romel Calahat on the other post side. That would have been a good option.
Kasin one-on-one against JLC. Another free. That time it won't work. A minute remaining here in the fourth. John Fa kicks it out to Archie Concepcion. JLC, nothing really happening on this set. And Larry Muyang wasn't involved in that set, Coach Mike.
For the second straight instance. I mean, if it were just basic post-ups, you'd like to have Larry Muyang take on it. Because he has Calahat on him. Height and heft advantage kay Larry.
Baseline inbound for Pampanga. They don't necessarily need a free at this juncture.
Agree.
Larry Muyang will fire and score from downtown.
They don't need a 3, but if they make it, it'll be sure big for them.
And they make this a 1-possession ball game. No need to foul if you're Pampanga. Pampanga not yet in penalty. Manday sizing up Archie Concepcion. 7 seconds left on their shot clock. Manday came up big against Pangasinan, but he lost the basketball. Turnover against Caloocan.
Oh boy, he had Archie Concepcion on an island that side of the floor. And that little play on the ball, little game move as he was trying to chase that space, really lost that handle.
Pampanga using their final timeout. You see the setup here. John Fa to Larry Muyang. No hesitation. Puts in that free. And let's listen in to Coach Pedic ni Matulak as he tries to map out a play here for Pampanga.
Hindi ko alam kung 14 o 21 ako at 21 seconds. 14 tayo. Oh! Hawak! Pa! Corner tayo, Larry! Command game tayo! Command game, tignan mo! Atake! Larry, tapat! Pag libre driving line atake, Larry. Pag wala, pag tira, shooter, pakita. Pag kaya mo kung umatake ka. Ha? Tapos! Right! Oh, right.
Well, they're really trying to go to a two-man game involving Larry Muyang and, to my recall, John Fa. But my question now is that on that two-man action, do you do that on a loaded ball screen where you have a corner shooter on that same side of the floor, or are you going to have it empty? Have the shooter on the weak side corner of the floor. That was the thing that was never not so clear. But you do understand, two-man game. Roll Larry, if you have it, go straight up. If not, look for the shooter.
They opt to inbound it all the way to the backcourt. Caloocan still has 2 timeouts left. Especially if Pampanga makes this basket here. John Fa, one-on-one against Kalahan. Now the screen, the switch. Larry Muyang, the fake, stepping back. Another three-point attempt. No, follow-up by JLC is good. Lead is down to 1. Caloocan using their timeout, but just 3.2 seconds left here in regulation.
Well, initially, John Fa wanted Larry Muyang to stay out of the way because he felt he could take on Kalahat. But that never happened. Ball went to Muyang. Shot was too strong. JLC being, quick to that offensive rebound and that putback.
Let's listen in to the huddle of Caloocan.
Sige ko inbound na lang. Upward lang, coach. Upward. Mel, ikaw to, Mel. Ikaw to, ano. Makanig tayo, ha. Good inbound lang, pare. Good inbound. Jeff, corner. Sino to? Jeramer. Hindi, coach. Sa low ba ako? Sige yan, sige. Okay. Jeff. Okay, si Jeramer. Tapos screen. Tingnan mo si Ronnie. Pero kung sinong mauna mabigyan ng bola, pa-foul lang yan, pre. Hawak pa yan.
Well, you're always going to expect that there's going to be a foul given up because they want to stop the clock. And yun ang malinaw na instructions ni Coach Mike sa gigit. And with Pampanga still having fouls to give,
it hurts them.
It hurts them, that's right.
Because time is not on their side.
Agree.
3.2 seconds left. They need to foul quick. 0.8 seconds chopped off the clock. Now they don't have any more timeouts.
Sayang din yung pagkakataon na yung kanina nung nag-switch na si Kalahat kay John Fa. Now the important thing here is to try and defend and get a foul.
Now if you're Caloocan, you don't want to commit that mistake of committing a 5-second inbound violation. Now they get it inbounds. Muyang gives up the foul.
And wisely, they gave it to Jeff Manday. But so far, itong si Jeff Manday for this game has had no trips yet to the line.
But he did hit 4 clutch free throws in their final elimination game.
That's right.
Against Pangasinan on the road.
Who would ever forget that?
Jeff Manday, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Cool, calm, and collected. All net on the first free throw.
Sanay, kalmadong-kalmado sa pagkakataon na yan. And he is really one of their top free throw shooters, 82% from the line. Ito si Jeff Manday in the regular season.
Manday seems like he wants to make the second. And he does. It gets a chance for Pampanga to inbound the basketball. Muyang pitches it ahead, but it was too strong for John Fa to catch it.
your best three-point shooter so far this game has been Archie Concepcion. He's 3 out of 5 from 3. That ball never went the side of Archie Concepcion.
Caloocan, all they have to do is inbound the basketball, and they do. 0.8 seconds remaining. One free throw should seal it for Caloocan. I mean, Pampanga had their chances.
That's right.
But credit Caloocan for fighting back. And the question was whether they could sustain this kind of pace.
Matter of fact, Ken, they were so good in the second half that they doubled their production in the first half. They only had 19 in the first half. Here they had what, 42? And that clearly is a huge turnaround scoring-wise para dito sa Giant Lanterns.
And that's gonna do it. And another botched pass from Larry Muyang. And Caloocan will get game number 1 of this series between them and Pampanga.
Really, this started in the first quarter where, you know, itong Caloocan really just imposed their will, especially on the defensive end of the floor, where we talked about it. It almost felt like there were 6 Caloocan players on the floor at the same time. Kaya walang nabibit na defender itong Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
And the final horn has sounded. Caloocan striking first in this series between the number 4 seed against the 2-time defending champions, number 5 Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Caloocan able to survive and grab the first win here. And Romel Calahat certainly was a guy that really stepped up in this ball game against Pampanga, Coach Mike.
And he started things off in the first quarter. We talked about how intentional itong Caloocan has been in the first. But really, a lot of that has to do with this man, Romel Calahat. He just had his way, getting 4 offensive rebounds early in the first quarter, and really just went everything with what he had, making shots, getting deflections, getting offensive rebounds.
And the very first loss in the playoffs for Pampanga in the last 3 years. Their last loss was way back in 2022 against Nueva Ecija in the North Division semifinals. They were 18-0 in their championship run. Caloocan snapping that streak, winning this one over Pampanga 65-61. Let's go courtside to Miss Andrea Indicio.
Maraming salamat, Ken. First of all, Romel, congratulations. Isa ka sa nagbigay sa early boost ng Caloocan. Kitang-kita na kondisyon ka dahil hindi mo iniinda yung depensa sa'yo ng Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Pero ang pinakamaganda dito, yung energy mo noong first quarter, ibinalik mo noong fourth quarter kung kailan kailangan kanila.
Masasabi ko lang po, siyempre, pinagpreparahan ko lang po yung kung anong kulang po sa akin. Sinusunod ko lang kung ano yung mga sinasabi ng mga coaches kasi sabi nga nila, bata pa po ako, marami pa po akong kailangang marating, ganun po. At siyempre, sabi po, palagi po ako papakondisyon.
At Romel, looking back at the game, maganda nga ang inyong naging simula pero nangyari yung kinatatakutan ni Coach Mike na hindi nyo na-sustain yung energy at yung lead na ginawa ninyo noong first half. Ano nga bang nangyari?
Yung first half, siguro po yung first half, sabi lang po sa amin, kailangan pumukpok na lang po talaga kasi na kami, quarterfinals na, kailangan mag-proceed pa sa semis, tsaka siyempre sa finals, ganun po.
Alright, meron ka ba mga gustong batiin o pasalamatan? Go ahead.
Unang-una, napapasalamat ako sa Panginoon Diyos. Sa pamilya ko, sa mama ko, si Mami Mildred, nasa Saudi. Daddy ko, Daddy Romel, brother ko, si Gio. And then sa girlfriend ko, si Arian Lopez. Tsaka thank you Lord Jesus Christ for the win. Napapasalamat kami sa walang sawang suporta nila Mayor Alo Malapitan, Kongoka, and Consi Enteng Malapitan, Lexi Malapitan. At sa mga sponsors, thank you. Yan Coolers, sa High Top LPG, Stay Cool Clothing, World Balance, Mandarin Sky, Father Well na nasa Jerusalem, Brother Arnold, Pastor Rev and Pastor Jem of GCF Caloocan. Tsaka sa Daily Waffle ni Prince Casin.
All right, once again, that was Romel Calahat, our best player of the game. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Game number 1 belongs to Caloocan in that series against Pampanga. Up next, the number 8 seed, Ilagan Isabela 5-star Cowboys travel on the road to face the 28-1, the number 1 seed, the Abra Solid Wharf Weavers. Huwag kayong aalis mga kaliga, magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League Playoffs.